My name is Ashish. I'm a junior doctor working in the UK. This is lesson 6 of the Learn Python with Me series. In this video, we will talk about loops, which is another foundational concept for any computer programming language. Now, what is a loop? A loop is a piece of code that is used for iterating over a sequence. And this sequence can be list, tuple, dictionary, set, or a string. I've talked about all these data structures and variables in my previous videos, so if you're not familiar with these words, then check out those videos and then start this video. There are two primitive or basic loop commands in Python, and they are for loops and while loops, and we will talk about each one of them. Before starting, I want to show you why loops are used. So let's create a list of fruits, and there are 5 strings in this list. And if I want to list out its content, then I'll have to put index of each one of these, and when I print these, it will print the name of all the content of this list. But the issue is that this is quite a lot of manual process, and if it is a very long list, then you'll have to manually type in all these indexes in order to print out its content. In order to save time, what we can use is these loops. Let's talk about the for loop first. In order to use the for loop, what we do, we use this for keyword, then we write the name of the iterator. Now this iterator is a special variable that is used in a loop. This can be anything. It can be x, y, fruit, or anything. I've just written it to be fruit so that it's easy to understand. Then we put in the in keyword, and then we put in the name of the list over which we need to iterate. We put the colon, then I leave a gap of 4 spaces, and then I write this command, that is print fruit. Now you can see that when I execute this, it prints all the fruits that are present in this fruits list. Now how does this work? So what it does is it goes through each index of this fruits list. So I've written for fruit in fruits. So what it will do, it will go towards the first index first, and that is the first fruit and fruits. So it will print this fruit. Then it'll go to the next index, then it will loop again, and it will find the next fruit and fruits, and it will print that fruit. And it will keep on doing this till it reaches the end of this list, and then it will end printing the element. Now we can do this with a string as well. So what I've done here is I've written a string here that is called my name, and the string is Ashish. Now I want to print out all the letters or characters in this string. So what I've done, I have written for letter in my underscore name, print letter, and we can see that it will print out all the characters in this string. Now you can also use X instead of this letter, right? You don't need to put letter. I've just used letter to make it easy to understand. If you use X, it will print out the X. So it is just an iterator and the variable inside the for loop. Now what we will do next is we will loop through a dictionary. So let's create a phone dictionary of all these key value pairs. And we already know this command, that is dictionary.items. So I will execute this dictionary first, and then I will execute this command. And you can see that this command prints out a list of all key value pairs, right? So what we can do, we can just loop over this, and we can put the iterator as item, and we can write for item in phone underscore dot items print item, and what it will do, it will print out all the key value pairs. We can also do that with the keys, and we can also do this with the values. Similarly, you can loop through a set. So what I've done, I have mentioned a variable here, and then I'm assigning it set of values, and when I create this set, you can see that it has taken just the unique numbers it hasn't taken all the characters here, and it has just taken the unique ones. If I want to loop through these, then I can write for number in unique underscore numbers print number, and it will print out all the characters here. The advantage of using a loop over set is that we don't have a predefined method like in lists or dictionaries to find the values inside a set, because sets do not have index. So we can use these loops to go through the content of a set. Next, we can use conditionals and the break statement. So what I have done here is I have reassigned the name of this list, that is fruits, and I've given it a value of 5 fruits. So what I can do, I can put in this if fruits is equal to mango conditional here, and then I've put break, and you can see that all the content inside each of these is indented. For example, for fruit and fruits, then I've put an indentation for whole of that code. And for the next line, if fruit is equal to mango, then I've put another indentation. If you do not put these indentations, the code will break. So what this will do is it will go through each index, and when it finds fruit to be mango, it will break. That is, it will break out of this loop. So you can see that we went through banana, it printed out banana, then it printed out apple, and when it found mango, it stopped the loop, and that's why we couldn't print the further elements from this list. And that's how a break statement works. We can also use continue statement, and in this what I have done, instead of break, I have just written continue, and when we execute this line of code, it will go through each index, and when it finds mango, it will not continue, it will not print it, it will just continue. It will go back to looping again, and you can see that it has skipped mango. So that is how a continue statement is used. Now there is another interesting function in Python that is called range. So in order to use this range function, what I've done, I have used for I in range 10 print I. So what it will do, it will print all the integers from 0 to 9. So it prints all the integers from 0 to this number -1, right? If you want to put in other arguments inside this range function, you can see that it takes variety of arguments that are start, stop, and step. Okay, so this is the starting point 5, this is the stopping point 20, and 5 is the steps that this range function will take. So when I print this, you will see that it prints 5, 10, and 15, and it will stop. So it started from 5, it stopped till 20 minus 1, that is 19, and it took steps of 5, so 5, 10, and 15. So that is a very useful function. The next one is using if-else statements. So what we can do, we can write if-else statements inside this for loop. So what I've done here is I've written for x in range 6, print x, else print finished. So it will go through this loop, and when it is done printing all the elements, it will print finished. So what it will do, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it will print finished, because we have ended this loop and there is nothing to print now. Next, there are nested loops, and these are loops one inside of other. So let's define two lists. One is called adjectives, the other is called fruits, and each one of them has 3 strings. So what I've done here is I've written for x in adjectives, and then I have initialized another loop inside of this. So what it does, it goes through x in adjectives. So in the first step, it will go to red, and When it reaches red, it will read this line of code. So it will read for y in fruits. So it will start looping through fruits as well, and it will reach apple. And the next statement is print x comma y. So it will print red apple. Then what it will do, it will go through this y again. So it will go towards banana. And then it will print red banana. And then it will go towards cherry and it will print red cherry. And once this is done, it will go to the first line again, and then it will go towards the first index of this adjectives list and do this process all over again. So you can see that you get all these characters and strings when you use this loop inside of one another. So I hope that this for loop was clear to you. In the next video, I will talk about while loop, and this is the second type of loop in Python. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you soon.